Yes, respected sadhakas, welcome. This exercise of hours of morning studying Upanishad is not everyone's bite. The one who is lost in the outer world of names, forms, and things fully, totally, he can't even imagine that there is such a type of science, such type of study, such type of knowing or realization called as such sublime truth or the self. It is only who with many lives of upasanas, anugrahas, and one's own effort of or questioning of what is the root of everything, what is the cause of everything. The one who has become Jignyasu like that. To him only these subtle truths are told, and such people who are that way deeply interested in their own inner cause of everything, that they will be able to spend time, give mind and intellect, try to understand these subtle truths. But the beauty of it is, once through this process, the support of everything, that one Paramatma, one truth is discovered, recognized, then curtain of illusion of manyness and consequent all the troubles, all the struggles, they just wither away, they go away. Just like when the light is put on, as the darkness goes away, in the same way, although it is very subtle work, very, very difficult one, but if we go through all the process patiently and reach to that substratum, like the light is put on, all the darkness and consequent problems go away. So too, all this ignorance and the whole life, whole world is nothing but a product of ignorance only. And whatever we do in this world to get whatever we want, what we want to get, that also are the illusory concepts. What we do to get, that also is illusion only. All of that found to be not required at all, and they're just dropped. Then we remain in that happiness or bliss, seeking which alone all these external struggles we are doing. It's a very miraculous, beautiful happening it is. But en route itself, umpteen number of obstacles will trouble us, stop us. Most of them are the habitual extrovertedness and the upsurges of the piled up desires from the vasanas, which make us go away from this sublime, subtle path of discovery of the truth. So, when one crosses all those consciously with the other sadhanas of bhakti, yoga, ityadi, then with less obstructions, one can move forward successfully in this path of Vedanta, the path of inquiry. So, maybe all that may be qualified to really travel this internal path of discovering the self, this substratum. Let none of the obstacles obstruct us or trouble us. Let the Lord empower us with all the abilities, faculties, right from the Viveka Vairagya onwards up to the Chitta Shuddhi, where other than wanting to know the truth, there is no other desire or thought or sankalpa is arising in our intellect. May we all be blessed with these sublime qualities. May we, like all the great saints and sages, Mahajnanis and all, who having discovered their self, not only got themselves liberated, thereafter they guided generations and all. May Lord's Krupa express through us also. This very innate, sublime, very substantial work we are doing through our morning classes, and it is not the wastage of time. It is not something very simple thing done. Let us respect, value the work which we are doing of trying to study through the Upanishad, the real essential substratum of everything, the Brahman, the Atman. So, with that respect, reverence, commitment, when we try, definitely Lord will provide qualifications. He will push us ahead and we will be able to thoroughly understand everything what we have to do and what we are doing and do the right thing to reach to the right place. Today also morning Taittiriya, then Yoga Darshanam, how Manaha Sthitihi Nibandhini. When the mana is bound in, how to bind the mind in the Ekagra Bhumika, those few sadhanas today we will see. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the sixth Anuvakam, the final things, having entered what Bhagavan has become and playing the play of the world, that we will see. Then in the Mundaka Upanishad, Parikshalokan Karmachitan, most important shloka in Bhagavad Gita in the seventh chapter, after that Devi Heshavanamai, then Bhagavan says, who are the ones who don't surrender to the Lord or discover the Lord? Who do? Namam Duskritino Mudaha, those shlokas we see. In beautiful our 12th Skandham, three more slokas, Abhyasa we do, while listening in the class only, what Raja Parikshit is taught by Shukadeva ji as the Antima final Upadesha to be liberated much before Takshaka comes to bite. Then our Dashamaskandha, we started how Raja Muchakunda started while doing the Stuti of the Lord, analysis of how we are in our no thinking, get lost in delusion and delusory attachments. Then in our Adhyatma Ramayanam, Lord Rama will teach the Kriya Yoga, the Upasana Paddhati to Lakshmana and through him to all of us. Today we'll chant our Adi Shankara Ashtottara Shatanamavali in the night. So these are our 9 program, 8 plus Taittiriya Parayanam 9. So let us fully engage in them. Feel grateful to the Lord for giving these opportunities and bringing the information that such things are happening to us. Thank to the Lord, to our own mana buddhi, which are cooperative enough for us to maintain our day schedule to attend to this class. Thank you to the body's health, to the prana shakti, to all the people whoever are helping us in this learning of Vedanta or all classes. With that beautiful heart of gratitude, whole day let us engage as much exclusively as possible only in spiritual sadhana and pursuit. Rest all will fall in its own right place in course of time. Let us start with the Parayanam of Taittiriya. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharusibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ॐ व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः. ॐ सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा. ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधाजलधे महितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ॐ ब्रह्मलोकादाशेषादालोकालोकपर्वतात् ये वसन्ति द्विजादेवास्तेभ्यो नित्यं नमो नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि। ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यासवैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्याद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। तेषां सर्वेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं तत्कुतः अस्माकं सह समस्तसाधकभक्तसेवकानाम् आयुरारोग्यक्षेमस्थैर्यश्रद्धाभक्तीनां समस्तशक्तीनाम् अवाप्ति विघ्नशत्रुनिर्मूलनद्वारा धर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये नित्यनिरन्तरदिग्विजयप्राप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्तिकल्याणैकता प्राप्त्यर्थं अस्मिन् दिवसे समस्तशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययनस्य प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ तैत्तरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशङ्कराचार्य भाष्यसमेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। Today in our chanting we are doing Vyahruti Upasanam Vala chanting. Up to the Pranava Upasana we do. It will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paras, 5 minutes. Om Bhurभुवः सुवरिति वा एतास्तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासामुहस्मै तां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अङ्गान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः भुव इति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः मह इति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिर्गंसि महीयन्ते भूरिति वारुचः भुव इति सामानि सुवरिति यजोगंसि मह इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे वेदा महीयन्ते भूरिति वै प्राणः भुव इत्यपानः सुवरिति व्यानः मह इत्यन्नम् अन्नेन वाव सर्वे ॐ अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणामहीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्म सर्वेऽस्मै देवा बलिमावहन्ते स य एषोऽन्तर्हृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एषस्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति भुव इति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व पृथिव्यन्तरिक्षं द्यौर्दिशो वान्तरदिशाः अग्निर्वायुरादित्यश्चन्द्रमा नक्षत्राणि आप ओषधयो वनस्पतय आकाश आत्मा इत्यधिभूतम् अथाध्यात्मं प्राणो व्यानोपान उदानः समानः चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाक्त्वक चर्ममागः सग्गस्नावास्ति मज्जा एतदधिविधाय ऋषिरवोचुत् पाङ्क्तं वा इदगुं सर्वं पाङ्क्तेनैव पाङ्क्तग्गः स्पृणोतीति ओमिति ब्रह्म ओमितीदगुं सर्वं ओमित्येतदनुकृतिः स्म वा अप्योश्रावयेत्या श्रावयन्ते ओमिति सामानि गायन्ते ओगुं शोमिति शस्त्राणि शगुंसन्ते ओमित्यध्वर्युः प्रतिगरं प्रतिगृणाते ओमिति ब्रह्मा प्रसौते ओमित्यग्निहोत्रमनुजानाति ओमिति ब्राह्मण प्रवक्षन्नाह ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानेति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति ओम शांति 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 ओम अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ओम यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः येदिमे गुरुमहि पूर्वं वदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचैनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवीन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ओम शांति 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 ओम अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानंदवल्ली शांति मंत्रः ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शांति 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 ओम अथ षष्ठोऽनुवाकः ओम असन्नेव स भवते असद्ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्तमेनं ततो विदुरिदे तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य अथातोऽनुप्रश्नाः उत विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चन गच्छति आहो विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चित् समश्नुता ओ शोकामयत बहुस्यां प्रजा येति सदबोधप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा इदगुं सर्वमसृजत यदिदं किञ्च तत्सृष्ट्वा तदेवानुप्राविशत तदनुप्रविश्य सच्चत्यच्चाभवत निरुक्तं च निरुक्तं च निलयनं च निलयनं च विज्ञानं च विज्ञानं च सत्यं चानृतं च सत्यमभवत् यदिदं किञ्च तत्सत्यमित्याचक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ओम शांति 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 Salutations to Parabrahma, Shruti Mata, all Brahmavidya Acharyas, Vedavyas, Vaishampayana, Yajnavalkya, Adi Shankara, and our Gurus. These 10 minutes of Parayanam, introduction, prayer to Guru Parampara, so much essential for you and me who are at a very low level of qualification to understand this highest level of Upanishad and Shastra. Only by their grace, even one few sentences, we are able to listen and trying to grasp. Without the Rishi Parampara, Guru Parampara, Krupa, this ability to understand the right perspective of all this will never click to anyone. So it's just a beginning. More and more we invoke their grace, more and more it will bless us to understand the things. Now we are studying the sixth Anuvakam of the second Brahmananda Valli, Taittiriya Upanishad. So the whole thing, if we have to see it as synopsis, it's like first the Sutra Vakya should be digested. That the Param, the ultimate, having obtained which nothing more remains to be obtained, is possible only when we become the realizer or the knower of the absolute truth called as Brahman. We have to be fully established in this understanding, because on this only the based entire development of the subsequent subject. That is why this is called as Sutra Vakya. Brahmavida apnoti param is the most important thing. On that only all our further interests our efforts to understand the subsequent subjects defined. Why? Because param prapti, only when it is in your mind, our mind, that where and how that paraprapti can happen, the question will come. Million people define and try in million ways to find the param, but none of them have found Param. Only one category of people have found the Param, having found which nothing remained further to be found, and they are all the Brahmavettas. They unanimously, time and again, through all Shruti Mata, told that Brahmavideva Paramapnoti. Now, this is such a sentence, though interesting, inspiring, every word needs to be explained. Therefore, what is param is now we have explained. That what is with knower, that also we have explained in that Bhashyam, Jnana, Darsana, Ardarsana, Apekshatvat, Brahmanaha, Prapti, Praptyoho, all that we have to remember. The most important thing is who is or what is this Brahman, obtaining of which the param is obtained. That has to be. So all these questions. What is the meaning of Param? What is the meaning of Apnoti? What is the meaning of Brahman? What are the qualifications to have the Brahma Prapti? Most importantly, where is this Brahman available? How that Brahman has to be gained? So these are the questions which are dealt with in this entire subject. So in that high level of subtle intellect, very, very sattvic Shuddha, freed from all entanglements. When we develop such intellect, with that only, right from the beginning till the end, what is said, all thing wholesale in a comprehensive manner, we can see and understand and grasp. After that only the true deeper inner meditation to discover that Brahman. Without the clarity of the understanding of the subject, what do we sit to do meditate? We may meditate on form of Lord, maybe the name of the Lord. They all are not as highest as knowing the truth and establishing in that. Therefore, the clarity of the understanding. Okay. Therefore, that Brahman is explained to us as Satyam Jnanam Anantam so exhaustively. Then he is available in the Guha, it is said. Now we have to enter into the Guha. Now we have to enter into the Guha, but where are we? We are in the world outside lost. Therefore, slowly we have to be brought into the Guha. How to do that? That a prakriya is put in front of us. The prakriya is of what? Though it is not there yet, we see the world. Therefore, it is not created yet, the world is created. In this way, the Shruti Mata is guiding us. In this guidance of Shruti Mata, each and every step has its purpose and meaning, only to reveal the Brahman to us. Other than that, none of these purposes or these sentences or expressions are true or real at all. Brahman alone is there, nothing other than Him. Yet we see the world, we see ourselves, and we have to see Brahman. Therefore, we have to be guided. And this most typical, beautiful guidance of the Taittiriya Upanishad we are seeing. So, what is present understanding now? Guha nihitam parabrahma, we have to discover. Then through the Panchakosha Viveka, we are slowly taken to the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And there we are given the presence of Parabrahma as this form. Each of these explanations are so important for a contemplative seeker to reach to that innermost level. In this discussion, from the Anuvaka 1 onwards, when we have traveled one by one, one by one, one by one, when we came to the sixth Anuvaka, in that the entire thing was told to us through the inquiry of the Srushti Vidhan. In this inquiry of the Srushti Vidhana itself, we reach to the Guhasthita Param Brahma. That's why the Srushti Prakriya, then the Pravesha Prakriya of Paramatma, and then today what we are going to study, how having created, having entered, he alone has become these five pairs of things. These deep contemplations will take us to the truth which is immanently everywhere, same time transcendental to everything. सब में रहते हुए सबके परे रहने वाला उस परमात्मा का अन्वेषण के लिए ये सारे विषय. But are we interested? Do we have that ability of introvertedness? Have we quietened our mind? Did we have that Shraddha in the Guru, in the Shastra, and in the Guru Shastra Bodhita Brahma Tattva? These are all to be adjusted. Spirituality is continuously adjusting, readjusting ourselves to become fit and qualified for this internal, sublime and personal journey. Personal means journey towards the self. अंतर्मुख अति सूक्ष्म आत्मा के तरफ करने वाला इस जर्नी प्रयाण का ये सारे निरंतर तैयारियां हमको करते ही रहना. Like in bhakti also, we have to keep on checking the extrovertednesses, the egos, etc. So to in yoga, we have to check whether the chitta is in the ekagra bhumi or because of antarayas, it is in the vikshipta bhumi. Come, bring it again and again into ekagra, try for samadhi abhyas. So to bring mind to again this internal level and peaceful level without ego and do the bhakti sadhanas. So to in Vedanta, the intermukata, sukshmata and the desire I will find the self in me by all means. That type of preparations when we have, we will travel. So every of these sentences, what is the meaning of so kamayata? Immediately it clicked to us that the kamana Paramatma is not like our kamana binding him. And what is the nature of his kamana? He wanted to become many. Then bahusyam, that is what. So kamayata, bahusyam go together. Then how do you become many? Prajayeya, prakarshena jayeya. I will be born as many. And what is the birth here? Not the birth like our birth or any other beings. Here always remember, Lord Himself is born as creation. This is the meaning. And how the Lord is Himself born as creation? Nothing but the unmanifest names and forms from within have got manifested. Clear? Bhavusyam prajayeya. And how did he do? Jnanamayam. So, satapotapyada. What is this tapasya? Only the Jnanamaya tapasya. Only he just visualized the world should be like that. He himself appeared like that till the time he himself was there as transcendental Brahman with all the names and forms inherent in him in an unmanifest form. The unmanifestation of vasanas in us, the unmanifestation of the word in the Lord, there is little difference. In the explanation of the vasanas in us, they express to bind us. They are ego oriented. They are seeking something with all limitations accepted. But they are not vasanas of the Lord, that the world is in an unmanifest form in Him. It is in him, in his own self as the self before it got expressed outside through his sankalpa or kamana. So that is a slight difference. It is not Vasana in him, it is an unmanifest form, though the Vasanas also are called as unmanifest. So, Brahma, so Kamayata, Bhashyam, Prajayeya. So, every of these thought has to be deeply contemplated. So, before then, Satapo Tapyata, Satapastatva, Idagam Sarvam Asujata, Yedidam Kincha. Up to this, we have to understand. And this understanding to be tuned with the earlier Anuvakas understanding of Tasmadva Etasmad Atmana Akasha up to the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnana Ananda. So parallelly we have to understand. Then Tat Srishtva, inquiry begins about this. Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishatu. So here the Anupravesha of the Lord in the world projected by him from his own self is becoming available for our recognition. He is there everywhere as a Sat. He is there deeply in our Guha as the Chitta, little superficially in the very Guha as the Chidabhasa Yukta. These four ways, four or five or infinite number of ways, which are explained yesterday, day before, or 2 days back, he Drashta, Shrota, Manta, and Vijnata. So, as Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata, the Paramatma has done Pravesha in Vijnanamaya Guha for our availability. After this process, through that Vijnanamaya Guha, when we reach to that Siddhabhasa and then Chit and the Sat, what we discover is that Sat alone is there everywhere. Other than that, nothing is ultimate. Everything is its own expression in some or the other form. Again, by the Paramatma Leela through his infinite power Maya. While all that is happening, to that Sat Swarupam Brahma, not even a little of a change is happening in him. And our goal is finally to identify with that Sat as Sat. Therefore, we are all pervading. There is nothing other than us to create any sort of samsara. Thus, we are mukta from the samsara by discovering ourselves to be that Sat Brahma in Anubhava, not only in the Siddhanta Jnanam, but in Anubhava that I am there everywhere. So, this is how Tat Srishtva Tadevanupravishatu. Again and again, again and again. See the world, understand it is made up of Panchamahabhutas, and the Panchamahabhutas have come from the Paramatma. From the same Panchamahabhutas are our koshas are made. Then from each of the koshas, Thula, Annamaya onwards, go into Vijnana. Remember, world is there, Lord is there in every nook and corner of this world, in sun, moon, stars, space, oceans, rivers, in the bird, the animal, pashu, har jagah Bhagavan hai. He is also there in Anna and Prana and Manamaya. But as we saw 3 days back, it is not the presence of the Lord which is important. It is the place of availability of the Lord for our recognition is more important. So, though he is all pervading, but for our recognition, he is available only in the Vijnanamaya Kosha Antargata, Vijnanamaya Gufa Antargata, Drashtu, Shrotru, Mantru, Vijnatru, Rupa Dharana Karne wale, Chidabhasa Antargata, Chit Antargata, Sat. रूप में this Parabrahma is available. This is the way, this is the only way. In any other place, the pure Brahman cannot be recognized. And without Brahma vidapnoti parangna, without knowing the Brahman, the Param cannot be achieved. If it is not Param, it is not liberation. In that way, whatever you are gaining in the world, you are gaining Brahman only. Even if you eat a chocolate, it is Brahma. But you are not getting Brahmananda. That Mukti Anandam we are not getting. So, remember, everything in the world is Savishesha Brahma. Savishesha Brahma will give Savishesha Sukha, which is temporary, will never give the infinite Sukha. The infinite Sukha Ananda is given by only the Nirvishesha Brahma. We have to discover this Avyavaharika Nirvishesha Brahma as our own self, whose final nature is Sat in our own heart. That Sat and Asti are same. This is how this particular Anuvaka and the earlier Anuvakas, when we are in that contemplative mood and think about in an easy chair reclining, then we understand all. Or on the meditational seat. Otherwise, it becomes vague what we are studying and all. And slowly also we are studying, not abruptly finishing. Therefore, there are umpty number of chances for us to forget. Like year back, we started Taittiriya. Today is 371st day. So, what was taught in the Upasanas in the earlier things? What was said Yaschanda Samrushabho? What is that Pranava Upasana in the Ashtamonuvaka? What is the Pankta Upasana in the Saptamonuvaka? What is the meaning of simultaneously? Dekho. Now you see what is said in that the fifth, sixth Anuvakas about the same Paramatma is there in the Buddhi Guha in both forms as the Upadhiyukta Jiva Nirupadika Brahma. What is said in fifth, sixth Anuvaka? Now in the sixth Anuvaka of the second Valli, we are able to get it more clearly. Today we chanted that name. Saha Esho Antara Hridaya Akashaha Tasmin Ayam Purushaha Manomayaha Amrutaha Hiranyamayaha. That Hiranyamaya is Chaitanya consciousness. Amruta is that Sat Swarupa or Asti Swarupa. But before that, the same Purusha in the Vijnana Guha is called as Manomaya. That Manomaya is called as this Drashta, Srota, Manta, Vijnata. See? Manomaya Purusha Tasmin Ayam Purusho Manomaya Amruto Hiranyamaya. Then the yoga paddhati was taught there that we will see again in today's our yoga darshanam also. In that topic yesterday we touched Vishayavati va pravrittirutpanna manasah stitir nibandhini. In that we were told 5 spots for doing dharana by which we get vilakshana experiences which will make the chitta to be stable to drag it toward the self, to drag it towards the samadhi, sampragnata. Same thing in the Taittiriya also is a antarena taluke esha stanaivavalambate se endra yonihi. Means a highly educated people of studying all these darshana shastras are will be able to integrate how the yoga marga, then Vedanta marga, bhakti marga integratedly are liberating the disciple only or giving the guidance for the bhakta, sadhaka, jignasu to get the moksha anubha. By the way, I told. Okay, now we come to our topic. So, tat sruštva tadevanupravishatu tadanupravishya. Up to this we saw. Yesterday we started seeing, having entered in what many forms Bhagavan has become. And the entire universe again can be concised into these 5 pairs of Rupa only. In those 5 pairs, Bhagavan has become appearing as. So, tadanu pravishya. Now, where did the Bhagavan praveshita now? Now, in the Samashti, he himself praveshita in the Hiranyagarbha. In the Vyashti also, he alone praveshita in all our individual Vijnanamaya Gufas. Okay. In the Vijnanamaya Gufa, he is there as Brahman Sat to be discovered. Having discovered Sat, he himself is expressing as these pairs of opposite, through which again he is becoming or the conducting the world, expressing as this world. So, what is said as idagam sarvam asrujata and what is said as satyatyachavavatu, they go together. So, he alone created the world was the earlier discussion. He himself has become them is this discussion. So, combine both of them. Bhagavan himself becoming all that is called as creation. The other way, if you see, creation means Bhagavan himself becoming many. There it started tat suštva tadeva anupravishat. Before that, idagam sarvam asujata. सो कामयत से लेकर देखोगे सो कामयता बहुश्याम प्रजायेय सतो तपोतप्यता स तपस्तत्वा इदगम सर्वम असुजत yet idam kincha. So everything which is there, he created. So there he became creator. Now after through the Guha Pravesha, when we reach the Brahma Tattva, from there when we see Tadanu Pravishya, he alone has become Abhavat, Abhavat, Abhavat. So Bhagavan himself becoming so many is called as Srushti. And did Bhagavan really become them? No, he only appearance with his infinite power. Therefore, is the Srushti or is only projection imagination? It is only projection or imagination, or a better healthy word is manifestation, not happening. Now, creation means something which was not there is created. In this world, in this creation, there is nothing created. It's only the word having its own meaning, but from the Vedantic standpoint, no consequence. The entire world is the manifestation of Parabrahma. This is Ekameva Advayam Brahma, this is Brahmajnana, this is Advaita Vedanta. Please remember. The entire world is the immanent manifestation of Brahman. That's it. Beyond the manifestation is the transcendental Brahman. Recognizing him and playing with the manifested is Jivan Mukta Sthiti. For that, all these inquiries are required to conduct and understand. Then only the intellect becomes sharp, subtle, becoming a vehicle to carry us to that experience on the seat of Dhyanam, not otherwise. So, what has he become? The five pairs and one more thing. Satchatyacha bhavatu niruktam cha niruktam cha nilayanam cha nilayanam cha vijnanam cha vijnanam cha satyam cha anrutam cha. Five pairs. Then satyam abhavat. Here the final satyam abhavat is, even though in these five pairs form he has become or appearing, still his satya sarupata of sadvastu or astitva he has not lost. These are all very intricate, deep contemplation. Those who are lost, as we saw in the introduction today, in the outer world of Shabda, Sparsha, Rasagandha, they'll be so extroverted, they will never have a capacity to become introverted to contemplate on this unless through Viveka they get extreme Vairagya, get out of that, like the scientists who decide that हम सब छोड़कर इस लैब में इस चीज को पता करने के लिए बैठकर एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे. How those scientists are so committed in that inquiry and sit there day in and day in and day out without any distraction. You know, that scientist's mind when we have of total vairagya, total commitment, total application, that these sublime truths can be understood by us. सो देयर फॉर द कंक्लूजन क्या है वहां कि यदिदम किच्चा तत् सत्यमित्याचक्षते देयरफॉर दैट ब्रह्मन इज सत्यम फ्रॉम दैट ब्रह्मन स्टैंड पॉइंट द होल वर्ल्ड इज हिम अलोन दैट इज व्हाई द वर्ल्ड इज appearing to be satyam because of the permeation of Parabrahma who is Sat Swarupa everywhere, that everything is appearing to be Satyam. If that Satya Swarupa Brahma is pulled out, like pulling out the thread from the cloth, nothing of the cloth remains. So too when the Satyam is brought, pulled down, nothing of the world will remain on. And to explain it, tadapi esha shloko bhavati. That is the next seventh Anuvaka will tell us some sublime things. Now, yesterday we introduced or started studying these five things. Satyatyacha bhavatu, niruktam cha, niruktam cha, nilayanam cha, nilayanam cha. See, straight away instead of entering to this topic, why we have given all the details was some once in a while we have to summarize what topic we are studying, how far we have understood the Shruti Mata's words. This exercise alone makes us more subtler, deeper, as well as wide in our understanding. Today you saw how clarity it came. Brahmavidapnoti param is the goal. The nature of Brahman is Satyajnanamada, found to be found in the Guha. To reach to the Guha from the world through the Panchakosha we have to enter. Where from the Panchakoshas the question will come. Therefore, Tasmadva Tasmad Atmana Akasha Sambhuta, that explanation is given. Then in the Buddhi Guha, how he is Upalabdha? Shrotru, Mantru, Vignatru, Gnatru. And behind him, the Chidabhasa Yukta Ahamvritti. Behind him, Shuddha consciousness. Behind him, as a Asti or Satta. How clear you see when we repeatedly. These are all intellectual bliss. None of this will give us mukti. We have to actually travel in our identity from each of the gross to the subtler. Finally, I have understood Brahman is not a realization or moksha. I am that Brahman is the moksha. That Sat Sarupa Brahma Aham Asmi is the moksha. Not that intellectually understood but continue to live as a jiva, identify the upadhi as a isolated individual in the world, trying to get sukha through the vishayas, etc. Then we are as samsari as earlier. Upanishad is not to allow us to continue as samsari. उपनिषद का अर्पस है सदेहे धातो हो विसरण अवसाधन गति. So to dissolve the samsara, to remove the ignorance, to give us the experience of Ham Brahmasmi. Now, when we understand in this way, world is nothing but Paramatma's manifestation, and realizing that Paramatma is moksha, will any of the earlier existing mental conceptions of desires, lust, passions, raga, dvesha, can they come? Can never come. That is how the samsara visharana happens in our mind when we study Vedanta. All those desires, passions, whatever we had of the negativities of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, they are meaningless projections of the mind in which we were lost so far as a terrible samsari, doing all nonsense, getting the consequences. जिसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है. Just like without, even though the snake is not there, we see and get frightened. जरूरत ही नहीं था डरने का, क्योंकि सांप था ही नहीं. In the same way, because of lack of the knowledge that everywhere I am, that Brahman is there, that the expression of mind, the wrong capacity of the mind to project all the desires and all, and we are illusorily running behind it, running behind the mirage water ki taraf, and getting suffering only. That's why you see in Nidra, none of the Raga Dvesha, none of the Kama Krodha, nothing, yet there is a bliss. The moment we get up, or even in dream, the mind got and mind's capacity of projection, projection of intellect's ignorance of the oneness, leading to the acceptance manyness. So, taking that intellect's ignorance of manyness, the mind projects tu meme, and in that the entire Raga Desha Kama Krodha. And we are lost in pursuing that. This is how from the gross level of living to the subtle level of living with understanding we have to grow to. This is called spiritual journey. What is spiritual journey also? 20-30 साल सुनकर भी लोगों को पूरा पकड़ में नहीं आता. And it takes time. Many lives you have to go on listening, contemplating. Then the subtlety comes. So, Satcha, Tyatcha, Abhavatu, we have seen Sat, Murtam, Tyatu, Amurtam. Okay, Parabrahma alone has become Sat and Tyat, Murtam, Amamurtam. Okay, then what is Sat, Murtam, Tyatu, Amurtam? Both of them were, be attentive, in an unmanifest form in the self, and when they get manifested not without the self in their womb as an Atma, but with the self only in them. Therefore, the vision now changes. Earlier, what? Nama Rupa were real, there is nothing called reality. But after the Guha Pravesh and discover the reality, from that standpoint, when we see every Nama Rupa we see, but that has in its womb as its support as Atma, this Parabrahma only. So Parabrahma only, there is no Parabrahma, only Rupanama is real. That was the first point of our journey. Now, as we are concluding, Brahman is discovered, then he alone is appearing as any Rupa and Nama, any multiplicity. And that multiplicity is explained as these five pairs, starting with Sattu and Tyattu, Murtam and Anmurtam, seen and unseen, effect as well as cause. So, that effect are Stula Sukshma, cause is the Karana. Yesterday we have, with that water, ocean, waves example, we have thoroughly explained. Satcha Tyatcha Abhurtu. Okay. In that, the beauty is Satcha Murtam Tyatcha Amurtam Abhavatu. Murta Murtehi Avyakruta Nama Rupe Atmaste. Antargatena Atmana Vyakriyate. Always in unmanifest, in that Paramatma, there is Murta Murta. When they get manifest, they don't get manifest independently, but they have the self in them permeated. Then Like when the unmanifest pot gets manifested out of the mud, that pot will contain in its womb as its Atma the mud. Is it not? It's not that unmanifest pot got manifested from the mud and there's no mud at all in the pot. ऐसा नहीं होता ना. In the same way, from the Parabrahma, when the Rupanama came out, within that Rupanama, the Parabrahma in the Sadrupa is eternally there. Okay, Avyakriti. Then Vyakrute Murta Amurta Shabda Vache. Hmm. Hmm. Therefore, everywhere in that Murta and Amruta, the Paramatma is there, we have to accept. Then, Te Atmanatu. Why is it so? No. Abhavat, why the word Abhavat is used? Te Atmanatu Apravibhakta Deshakale. Any Rupanama, whichever is Tyat and Satu, Murta and Amurta, at no place and no time, without that Brahma or the Atman, therefore, Atman alone became like that, it is said. And that became is to be told because the Rupanama are seen even for Vyavahara. If that Vyavahara and Rupanama transcended, these questions will not come because we are seeing the Rupanama Rahita Parabrahma Anubhav as an Atma in our experience. अनुभव हो गया आत्म वस्तु का तो रूप नाम दिखता नहीं तो सवाल नहीं होगा. अब रूप नाम दिख रहा है even after अनुभव, there's no doubt that it is me only in the form of Satya and Tyat expressing. What is the main word in the entire discussion we have to catch is the expression or the manifestation. Neither the world is created as separate from Paramatma, nor the Paramatma disappeared when the world created. Therefore, what is the creation? Paramatma alone as Sadvastu, appearing as Rupanama in such a manner, Sadvastu alone is there inherent to them. They don't exist independently. Sort it out this. Our Kyanamana, because of their ignorance, when you see the Rupanama, then we don't see the Paramatma. When we see the Paramatma, we imagine that Rupanama need not be or should not be there. They may be there. Like when I see the water, doesn't mean it won't express as wave. But is there any reality to the wave in reality? No. Because inherent to the wave, what is there is water only. This is called Vedanta. And that what I am expressing as all waves in the universe without losing my waterness. And when the waves come and go, play, dance, so they don't touch me. It's an entertainment. Therefore, the entire world, which is Upadhi Yukta, anything happening into that, the substrate and the Paramatma ko kuch nahi ho raha hai. That Paramatma is me. This is the main thing we have to grasp. Having seen this, now second one. Kim cha niruktam cha abhavatu. That is the second sentence. So when it is said satyam and tyat, satya and tyat abhavat means the karana, stula sukshma, effect and the cause, he alone in this world. So you have to generalize this principle. Sat Brahma alone is expressing as effect and cause wherever you see here. Few examples we gave. Gold is cause, ornaments effect, ocean is cause, waters are effect. The cotton is cause, the clothes are effect, the mud is cause, pots are effect. In these four and millions of examples, wherever you see the cause and effect, behind both cause and effect, there is another substratum, the real cause, which has none of any other cause behind it. So from the effect we go to the Karana, from the Karana we go to the Mula Karana, from the Mula Karana we see that in that Mula Karana only these Karya and Karana are playing without their own personal, special, original existence or reality. खुद के सत्ता के बिना ही वो खेल रहे वहां. खुद के सत्ता के बिना ही वो खेल रहे. You know the movie, if there is no the substratum to be projected like a TV screen or the theater screen, where will it be seen? Substratum के बिना प्रोजेक्शन हो ही नहीं सकता. विदाउट स्क्रीन यू कैन नॉट इन समथिंग, कुछ भी रखना ही पड़ता है वहां. In the same way, without substratum, none of these things which we see have any existence. So that is seen. Satchatyacha bhavat. Now, when something is Manifest as Sat, the Murtam, unmanifest as Asat, Amurtam. Then they are talked about, they are explained also. Talking the explanation about them and inability to talk in inexplicability of them is called as Niruktam and Aniruktam. And these two are related. Sat, Tyatu, Niruktam, Aniruktam. Anything which is Sat, manifest, Murtam, can be Niruktam defined. Anything Tyat, which is Amurtam, because it is Amurtam, you cannot talk about, therefore it is Aniruktam. है ना? You can talk about something, you can't talk about other thing. So niruktam means what? Very interesting definition. Niruktam nama niskrushya samana asamana jatiyebhyah deshakala vishishtaya idam tat iti uktam. A very good definition for the whole life. Niruktam means nischayena uktam. Nischayena uktam means talking about something, separating it from its own jati or something other than its jati in any place or any time. That is called niruktam. So, a million examples are there. Like in a room, chair, if you say, this niruktam of the chair is to say that it is a chair with four legs and place to sit and hand and a back separate from a table. That ukti is called as niruktam there. Suppose there are two chairs. Okay. Then we say the plastic chair and wooden chair. That extra word added plastic to separate it from samana jatiya, but the different one. Jati is same, both are chairs. But the matter material के दृष्टि से किसी को plastic कहा, किसी को wooden. Now remember both are plastic chairs only. Then we say this is a red one and that is a blue one. Samana jati, but differentiated because of another guna added, the color. Let us say both are red only. Then it is separately spoken depending on some or the other differentiation. कुछ तो विशेषण होगा इसको उससे अलग करके बताने का. छोटा या बड़ा हो गया ना, या we call it in terms of the place, that which is left side or right side, or with respect to the time we call it as ये पुराना वाला और नया वाला, या पहले खरीदा वाला या बाद में खरीदा वाला. एनीवे इन सम लैंग्वेज, या जो पहले लाया गया रूम में जो बाद में लाया गया. So this way of talking about something specifically, separating it from the sajatiya or vijatiya vastus, the talking is called niruktam. So the whole niruktam, the speech, which is specifying everything, has come from that Parabrahma only. All the speeches. And because there is सत, then only the speech is possible. The chair है, इसलिए हम chair है करके बोल रहे. Okay, aniruktam tad viparitam. Like aniruktam, when there is no chair at all. Now talk about the absence of chair. What can you talk about it? You can't talk about its color, its shape, its material, because it is absence. So tyat cannot be talked. Therefore, it's aniruktam. It's a silence. Sat can be talked. It is niruktam. So satacha tyatacha abhavatu. By saying sat and tyat, Bhagwan is defining all the rupa, by explaining all the rupa. So every rupa came from Paramatma. By saying the niruktam and aniruktam, Bhagwan saying all the sounds as well as all the silences also have come from me. Niruktam are sounds, aniruktam is silence. Non-existing thing cannot be spoken, undefinable thing cannot be spoken. Non-existing thing is actually the world, undefinable thing is Parambrahman, because Nirvishesha. Both of them cannot be spoken. In between, in the Brahman, when the Rupa Rapa are projected, of that there is a speech. Anyway, this is another subject, another discussion. We will just follow Bhagavan Bhashyakara, main Shruti Mata. So, Niruktam is Viprakrusya speaking. So, Nishkrushya Samana Asamana Jati Yebhya Deshakala Vishishtaya Idam Tat Iti Uktam. This speech is called Niruktam. Explained very clearly. Two chairs, example, chair, not a table. Two chairs, but one is plastic and another wooden. Two plastic only, but red and another is blue. but both are red, but it is smaller one, a bigger one, no same size. Then it is old one, new one, then newly brought only. No, and then it is first entered, then later on entered, or it is left side or right side. जो ऊपर है नीचे है, तो कुछ ना कुछ परिभाषा या वक्तव्य होता है. दैट्स कॉल्ड निरुक्तम. ओके, देन एक्सप्लेनेशन गोज लाइक दिस कि अनिरुक्तम तद्विपरीतम अनस्पोकेबल स्पीकेबल निरुक्त अनिरुक्ते अपि निरुक्त अनिरुक्त दोनों मूर्तामूर्तयोः एव विशेषणे. They are the Visheshana of the Murta Amurta only. Is it not, as we just now said, the relation between Sat and Tet, Murta Amurta is what? Sat is the, sorry, Sat and Tet, Murta Amurta, and the Nirukta Nirukta. The Sambandha kya hai? Sat alone is Niruktam, and Tet, which is Amurtam, is Aniruktam. सत्य जो है उसी को आप डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, बोल सकते हैं, निर्वचन दे सकते हैं, नॉट द त्यक्त और अमूर्तम. So in this way, nirukta anirukte api murtamurtayoho eva visheshane. So here he is bringing the relation between rupa nama. Only when there is a rupa that can be given nama. When there is no rupa, there is no nama. Therefore, in this world, everything is there rupa but cannot be recognized without the nama. And in this world, every nama is meaningless unless it has got corresponding rupa. In this way, Nama Rupa is the entire Jagat. That definition also is brought. In other words, Paramatma only through Nirukta Anirukta as Nama, through the Sat and Tet as a Rupa, appearing as this world. Which Paramatma? Sat Paramatma. Which Sat Paramatma? Who is discovered in the cave of our heart, going behind Drashtu Shrotru, Siddhavasa, Chitta, and discovering that Sat. Without discovering the Sat Brahma in our heart, all of these intellectual jugglery, how much ever we may clearly understand, will not give us moksha. More than it will add to our another ego also कि मैं बात समझ गया हूँ. हमें समझने that is what the disciple in Kena Upanishad with such a deep contemplation we understood and he came and told, sir मैं समझ गया. अरे पुत्र समझने की बात नहीं है, अनुभव की बात है, जा फिर से. Then in that second inquiry, he will get the Anubhava and come and say. So too we will see in this third Bhruguvalli also. Then the Putra Pita Samvad mein, how he goes and discovers the self. Annamaya pehle sochta hai, fir prana, mana, transcending all the Panchakoshas through the sadhana upasana, he will discover the Brahmanaham. Ham Brahmasmi is the goal. Not any of these understandings are explained. These are all explanations to explain and satisfy our queries regarding what we are seeing, what we are experiencing, how we are experiencing. Mm. These explanations that he only became Sattu and Tyatu are for those sadhakas who have not yet discovered the Brahman in the core of their heart. The one who has discovered, he himself knows it, he need not be told. That अरे मैं खुद ही सत्य हूँ, त्यक्त हूँ, मैं खुद ही निरुक्त हूँ, अनिरुक्त हूँ, उनको पता होता है. And so common sense it is. Is it not I alone am in my consciousness, seeing all the forms and recognizing if at all there is formlessness? Is it not me who is certifying the words? Is it not me who is certifying the silence? All sounds are coming from me, all non-words or silence is also illuminated by me. Neither I am word nor silence. I am beyond. I am pure conscious existence. Like I am talking to you. I am aware of it. And I don't talk. I am aware of it. Again, Niruktam and Niruktam both are supported by me. So to the Sat, there are things in a room, then all things are removed. Tyatu, nothing is there in the room. Both I recognize. Absence and presence. सच्चत्यच्चा भवतु निरुक्तं च अनिरुक्तं च. Now little more discussion कि यथा सत च त्यत च प्रत्यक्ष परोक्षे. So the third one we are going to. Okay. Nilayanam cha anilayanam cha. Nilayanam means abode. Anilayanam means non-abode. So that which is sat, that which is niruktam, that alone needs nilayam. And that which is tyat, that which is aniruktam, therefore amurtam, doesn't need nilayanam, therefore anilayanam. So wherever the Nilaya Anilenas are there, abodes, wherever there is Sat and Tyat, the Rupas, wherever there Niruktam, Aniruktam are there, the Nama and the absence of the name, Hare Har, सब उसी पर ब्रह्म का expression है. That is the power of that Parabrahma, which in Bhakti Bhasha, even here also we call as Maya Shakti. अघटित घटना बटी ऐसे. और इतना कर कर भी वो माया भगवान को टच नहीं करता. He remains as Brahman only. So he says, Yatha Satcha Tyatcha Pratyaksha Parokshe Tata Nilayanam cha Anilayanam cha. Both of them. The Nilayanam, the abode, Anilayanam, the non-abode. है कि नहीं? कोई भी मूर्त होता है उसको निलयनम होना पड़ता है. अमूर्त है तो कोई निलयनम नहीं होता है. The formless need not have any abode or any container or support. Any formful thing only need a nilayanam. So nilayanam needam ashrayaha murtasya eva dharmaha. That nilayanam needaha ashrayaha is dharma of the murta, the manifest. Murtasya eva dharmaha. Anilayanam tad viparitam amurtasya eva dharmaha. So the amurtasya dharma anilayanam. So in this way, sattu, tyattu, name and no name, form and no form. Amurta, amurta. Then niruktam, aniruktam, the definability and definability. Then the nilayanam, anilayanam, the abode and non-abode ke roop mein Bhagavan alone is there. Now, little deeper discussion here. One paragraph. Just is making us contemplate to understand exactly how all this drama of Sthula Sukshma Karana, Rupa Nama, all are happening. As I told you, only an intuitive level of intellects can pursue the subject subtler. Other things little intellectually at least we could understand. ये तो intellectual भी समझ में नहीं आएगा. After which alone in the deep meditation we try to discover what is said. But फिर भी सुनते रहना. What he says here, Tyat anirukta anileyanani. Tyat means amurtam. Anirukta undefinability. Anileyanam non-abode. These three, the other side of it. Sattu, Tyattu. Then Nilayanam, Anilayanam. Between that, Niruktam, Aniruktam. So Sattu, which is Murtam, which is having the Niruktam, which is having the Nilayanam. Here, Tyatu, which is Amurtam, therefore Aniruktam, then Anilayanam. He is talking about the second set. The Tyatu, the Aniruktam, and Anilayanam, these three, Amurta Dharmatve api. Even though they are the dharmas of the Amurta, the unmanifest, yet Vyakruta Vishayani eva. They are actually the Vishayas, the projections or the extended expressions of the Vyakruta only. Sat and Tyat, sorry, Sat and Nirukta and the third Nilayana. इसके ही expression है ये तीनों. They don't have independent stay, though the words are used. What are those three? Tyat, Anirukta, Anilayanam cannot be without Sat, Nirukta, Nilayan. Though they are talked about, but they are dharma of this only. How? How? Prove karo. Because Sargottara Kala Bhava Shravanat. It is only when the Sarga is there of the Sat, then Nirukta, then Nilayana, the absence of that has a meaning to discuss. Is it not? Like इस कमरे में पुस्तक नहीं है. No, this इस कमरे में पुस्तक नहीं है is a meaningful word only after there was a pustaka in this kamra. So, with regard to the positive, these three only, the non-positive or the absence of these three can be discussed. Therefore, don't give too much value to them. That's the meaning. So, Sarga Uttara Kala Bhava Shravanatu. So, Sarga Uttara Kala means what? Only when the Sat, Nirukta and Nilayanam are discussed, that in correspondence with that, the absence of the Sat is called Tyatu, absence of the Nirukta is called Anirukta, absence of Nilayanam is called Anilayanam. Therefore, directly seen superficially, These three appear to be independent, but they can never be talked independently because they are talked later on after the Sat, Nirukta, and Nilayam is discussed. So, in this way, the difference between these two is brought out. Ataha visheshanani amurtasya vyakruta vishayani eva etani. So, even though they are amurta vishayas, but they are vyakruta vishayani eva etani, they are related to the vyakruta only. The absence is absence only in regard to the presence. Isn't Without the presence of it, the absence cannot be talked about. Therefore, here focus your attention on the absolute presence, not on the absence. Absence also has to be certified by the presence only that way. Because the Shunyavadins, etc., go into the absence. Arre beta, tu absence keh raha hai, tu to hai na wahan. You can't deny your presence. But that he will not agree. That's what small itch is there in them. In few lives, they only become Advaita Vedantins. Every non-Advaitins in this life, slowly through evolution, in one life, they have to come to Advaitam because in that only there is Mukti. Therefore, all these Madhvacharyas, Ramanujas, whoever have established Dvaita Vishishta, further janam में वो अद्वैत को पकड़ ही लिए होंगे. But they, in those timings, came as those acharyas to teach those sadhanas which are easy, helpful, and beginner sadhanas. Straight away, Advaita Brahma bolo, तो कौन बोल रहा है गुरु गुरु तो द्वैत हो गया तो I will not listen to him. That type of nonsense comes. Therefore, through the Dvaita, through the Vishishta Advaita, only we come to the Advaita. See, I told you one day Dvaita is Vyavahara, Vishishta Advaita is Bhavana, Advaita is Anubhuti. अनुभूति है अद्वैत का, भावना मन में विशिष्ट अद्वैत का है, व्यवहार आउटसाइड इज इन द्वैत. यू कैन नेवर हैव अ व्यवहार इन अद्वैत. And we cannot have the Advaita Anubhuti again in Vyavahara. It's all Dvaita only. In that way. Now, Tyat Anirukta Anilya Amurdhara देख लिया हमने. Now, the last pair is called Vijnanam cha Avijnanam cha. So, what is Vijnanam? Vijnanam means Chetanam. है ना? The Chetanam, the life force. Avijnanam means tadrahitam, achetanam. What it is? Pashanadi. See the difference between us and the stone? The stone is pashana, is achetanam. It doesn't respond to any stimuli, anything. इसमें चेतन express नहीं है. But in us there is there. So we respond to the happenings and everything. So the life expression is called Chetanam. It is called as Vijnanam, and the absence of that is called as Avijnanam. In both ways, he alone is expressing. Okay. So by this, as we saw yesterday in the beginning class, day before also, it is one Sadvastu only is expressing as the Vijnanam, the Chetanam, the Avijnanam, the Jadam. And the Parabrahma is the Chetanam or Jadam. Is support of both of them. You can Nasattanna Saduchyate in the 13th chapter of Gita. You cannot talk it as Chetana and Jada. It is support of both of them. You can talk it as Asti. This Asti is there both in Jada and Chetana. But for the sadhana, the Chetana become the means to reach to the Sat, not the Jada. That is why too much importance, and which is very essential also, is given to the Chetana during the sadhana period. Through the consciousness only we reach to the self, which is not opposed to both consciousness and inertness. चैतन्य और जड़ दोनों को सपोर्ट करने वाला, दोनों के अलग वाला सद वस्तु को पाने के लिए चेतना से ही हमको जाना पड़ता है, जड़ में नहीं हो सकता. So although in the jada Paramatma is there, but not upalabdha, only through chetana. That's why we saw, no? Why the Paramatma, though is Anna Prana Mana, is there, not recognizable? Because there the knowledge is there, but the Chetana is not expressed as the Chidavasa expresses in the Aham Vritti, in the Vijnana Gufa. And only through that gateway of the Chetana, through the gateway of Chetana, that the Sat is recognized. There is no other way, not through the Jadam particularly. That is how Vijnanam cha Avijnanam cha also explained. So these are all again a detailed to be worked out aspects. We are only studying the Bhashyam and going ahead. But each one of them we have to hold on to and spend days together in this world wherever the Chetana is there, permeated by the Sat. In this world, wherever the abode and non-abode are there, permeated by the Sat. In this world, whatever is defined or undefined is permeated by the Paramatma. Whatever has got the Murta and Amurta, everywhere he alone is there. So the Murta, Murta, Satyat are the Rupa. Then the Nirukta, Aniruktana are the Nama. Then the Nilayana, Anilayana, the abode. Then the Jnana and Ajnana or Jnana is knowing of them and not knowing of them. So this is how the whole world has to be brought into these five pairs. And these five pairs are expressions of Paramatma because with every sentence, Abhavat, Abhavat, Abhavat is added. Satyatyacha Abhavatu, Niruktam cha Abhavatu, Nilayanancha, Nilayanancha Abhavatu. Then Vijnanam cha Abhavatu. This is how we have to add Abhavat. Whole world, hello, he alone. So this actually, na, when we truly through Vijnana Gufa reach to Parabrahma and look back, how the Parabrahma only appearing as the entire world, that thing will be clicking to us. That's how these rishis have visualized it. Then only they can write all. Na? Jhoot thodi likh rahe ho. They are not fancying or imagination. They are putting in the form of words. Not an imagination, their own experience. So two more pairs are there, or the last pair, Satyam cha Anutam cha Satyam Abhavat. यदिदम किंचा तत्सत्य विद्या शिक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. इन चीजों को पढ़कर इसके बाद concluding this anuvakam, then seeing that the seventh anuvakam, that will be our thing. And for us, the homework is sixth anuvakam. As many things as you can remember or contemplate, try to understand deeply. So good it is. And don't say so difficult and tough, I can't be contemplative. आप मुझे योग बताओ, आप मुझे भक्ति बताओ. मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, without Vedantic deep understanding, yoga and bhakti will never be able to be successfully done by us. That is why in all Vedanta Yoga Shastra, what is Bhakti Yoga Shastra, what is finally indicated is Vedanta only. You cannot be completing in your explanation of Krishna without saying him as Satchidananda Rupaya. If you don't understand Satchidananda from Vedanta, you have not understood Krishna only. Krishna ko hi nahi samjha, then your bhakti is only very grass. So to the yoga, all vritti nirodha you are doing what for? Swarupa avasthanam. If that Swarupa is Chaitana Rupa, if that is not discussed, which is Vedantic topic, where the support for the whole yoga sadhana to stay. You understand? Without the Vedanta, all other sadhanas can't take us to the goal. Goal is Vedanta only. And Vedanta through Vicharana just dismantles every edifice of samsara. एक क्षण में पूरा वो डेटोनेटर लगा के बिल्डिंग या पहाड़ को जैसे तोड़ देते हैं ना, ऐसे टूट जाता. Just everything goes, only Brahman is. Only thing is what we have heard, we have to do mananam. What mananam we have done, we have to do contemplation. बट जो उत्तम अधिकारी के लिए होता है, जो नहीं है, आप भटको भगवान के पीछे, कृष्णा मुकुंदा मुरारी, हे नमो श्री कृष्णा शरणम मम, चल बैठ वहां करते जप 10 लाख जन्म के लिए, भगवान इज बिजी. इज इट नॉट? इट इज ऑल डिपेंडेंट. भगवान खुश हो जाए तब जाकर वो आते हैं. इन वेदांत नो नीड टू डिस्टर्ब कृष्ण एट ऑल. यू जस्ट डीपली इंक्वायर in all Taittiriya Upanishad, did any Krishna Rama appear so far? Not required. Through inquiry also we can reach. And the yoga also, चित्तवृत्तियों के भटकते रहो, अब कितना भी निरोध करो आते रहते हो. It's a big hangama there. And there's an excitement of doing something and reaching nothing in all this. So Vedanta is Vedanta. महाराज है वो. बाकी सब सम्राट चक्रवर्ती है वेदांत. बाकी ये सामंत राज लोग हैं, ठीक है, चलता है. That is how the deep. But again, we have to be qualified. We have to be deep. That comes only when we have trust in that Guru Parampara and Guru Maharaj. and this one. May it happen to us. Luckily, we are tasting yoga, bhakti, Vedanta, not eating anything fully for our satisfaction. But कम से कम टेस्ट तो कर रहे हैं, उसको खूब खाने का, उससे मुक्ति वाला ऊर्जा पाने का भी टाइम जल्द से जल्द अपने जीवन में आना चाहिए, आएगा. सो विज्ञानम चेतनम अविज्ञानम तद्रहितम. Okay, this last one, satyam cha anrutam cha and satyam abhavatu, that one and this niruktam aniruktam 5 minutes करेंगे. Then whole summary as we saw today, Bhagwan himself is going to give the Bhashyakara, because a heavy dose of discussion went on. That should not become fruitless. To make it fruitful, he gave the summary. That summary we'll study. Then we start the तदप्येष श्लोको भवति भी खत्म करेंगे. तो the saptam anuvakam we can do very very good, that also. So this is how our study going on by God's grace, Guru's grace, your all cooperation. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Parabrahmane Shubhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Namaha. Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.